Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. You guys have been asking a lot about this crossbow, and well, here it is. The 2023 Vital X from Killer Instinct. So stay tuned. All right, everybody, we're gonna do this video similar to the Diesel X video if you watched that one that we did a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna start with specs and features, okay? And then we're gonna sight it in. That's gonna be the second thing. We're gonna sight it in. I haven't shot it at all yet, so we'll go through the sight in process. And then we're just gonna see how well it shoots. And we'll probably shoot again like the Diesel X video at ranges from 20 to 60 yards. After that, you guys, we're just gonna go over my impressions of the bow and what I think you guys can expect should you decide to purchase the Vital X. The Vital X features the patented, fully synchronized X-Cam system, which requires less effort to draw than most crossbows with its impressive 50% let-off design. The X-Cam also produces a crossbow system that shoots quieter with less vibration. Pairing the X-Cam with a composite rail, string stops, and limb dampers make the Vital X even more sound and vibration free. The Vital X is capable of speeds up to 405 feet per second, thanks to a 185-pound draw weight and a 14.25-inch power stroke. Uncocked, the Vital X width is 10 3/8 inches axle to axle, and when cocked, an ultra-narrow 6 3/4 inches axle to axle. The overall weight of the bow is 6.4 pounds, and the overall length is 31.5 inches. The molded fore-end grip contains a comfortable rubber overmolding, and the grip doubles as an easy carry handle. Rubber overmolding can also be found on the cheek pad and buttstock. Though the fore-end grip is non-adjustable, the fore-end still contains a Picatinny rail system for easy mounting of your quiver and other accessories. The trigger pull on the Vital X is 3.5 pounds, and the trigger box features an ambidextrous anti-dry fire safety. The Vital X is also compatible with Killer Instinct's compact DSC narrow sled crank. However, that crank is sold separately. The bow does come with Killer Instinct's Pro package, which includes the Lumix 4x32 optics featuring a multi-line reticle design, a sled cocking rope, removable quiver with 3 20-inch hyper arrows, field points, and rail lube. And as standard with every Killer Instinct crossbow, the Vital X is backed by Killer Instinct's limited lifetime warranty. All right, let's start with the fun stuff and let's start shooting this thing. So we're gonna get it sighted in. We're gonna start with my target at 20 yards. And again, you guys, I haven't shot this at all yet. So we're starting from scratch just like you guys would. And we're gonna be using the Killer Instinct Hyper Arrows. This is exactly what came in the package with it. These are a 390 grain arrow, and that includes the 100 grain tips. You know, you guys, sometimes you just get lucky in life, and this is one of those times. Set up a bow, take the first shot, and it's perfect left and right. It's just a little bit high, so I'm totally fine with that. The way we're gonna set this reticle up, at least the way I want to, is with the very top line dead on at 30, and then we're gonna figure out the other ones from there. So we're not gonna mess with the scope adjustment at all right now. We're just gonna move the target back to 30 and take our second shot. All right, so a little bit low, a little bit left at 30 for our second shot. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make an adjustment. That left might have been me, but we'll adjust just a little bit over there. Our 20-yard shot was pretty good as far as left and right goes. On the Lumix 4x32, so it is a windage and elevation turret where you don't need a tool, and each click is gonna move the reticle a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. So you guys, there's lots of calculators, charts, or things like that. If you have trouble figuring out how many clicks you need to move your reticle at 20, 30, 40, whatever distance it is that you're shooting. But what I like to do, similar to what we did in the Diesel X video, I'm gonna lock everything down on the Bog Death grip. I'm gonna put my reticle right on the bullseye, just like I would be when I'm shooting. I'm just gonna look through the scope, and then I'm going to very carefully, without bumping stuff and moving it around, just move the reticle right to where my arrow hit, and then we should be dead on at 30 for our third shot total. All right, 3 shots, you guys, to get zeroed in at 30. That's really good. Usually with my method of locking everything in, it takes me 2 shots to zero at 20, 2 more shots to zero at 30. So we were, shaved a shot off. But any method that you guys do to sight this in, whether you just do clicks or you lock things in with a bog death grip or a lead sled or anything like that, it's a very easy, straightforward bow to sight in. And I want to take a minute and just talk about the scope and the reticle here really quick before we start shooting at 40 yards. So this reticle in here is a fixed reticle, okay? The scope is a fixed 4x32 power. There's no magnification adjustment. So all those lines in your reticle, when you make elevation adjustments, all those lines are going to move together. So you don't get the speed calibrated aiming points like you do on a speed ring style scope. So that's where it's kind of your preference to how you want to set the scope up. I want to set it up as my top line is my 0 to 30, and I want that for a couple reasons. Number one is these bows shoot so fast. This bow being 405 feet per second, most crossbows out there today, they shoot fast enough and they shoot flat enough that the 0 to 30 really isn't much of a difference. It might be a little bit, but it's going to be well within the kill zone of a whitetail deer. And for me, really number two, that's where I'm hunting, is 0 to 30. I don't want to have to think about which dot or which reticle line I need to shoot for the majority of my shots. I just want to know, hey, if he's 30 yards or in, I shoot that top line, top dot, top whatever is in the reticle, and I know I'm good to go. That's how I like to set it up, and that's what we're doing here. We've got that top line sighted in at 30. Now we're just going to kind of see where those other lines fall within the reticle, and hopefully they're somewhere fairly close to 40, 50, and 60 yards. And we're going to find out right now. I'm going to shoot the second line of the reticle at 40 yards, and let's see how it does. All right, so not a bad 40-yard shot, guys. Honestly, I felt a little flinchy on that one, so that one might have been me. But this is a great time to shoot our 40-yard group, and if they all, shoot a little bit off, we can make a minor adjustment. But if they don't, if they group nice in the center here, then we won't mess with anything. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's the 3 hyper arrows that came with the Vital X. All right, so not a bad 40-yard group, you guys, but honestly, you guys, I think I'm struggling a little bit just visually getting used to this scope. I'm not used to lines. I'm not used to horizontal lines in the reticle, and these lines, honestly, in the reticle, they're fairly thick. I'm used to shooting like smaller ballistic dots inside of a speed ring style scope, so I think there's some user error on that. It's not mosquitoes tonight. There are no mosquitoes tonight. I'm not gonna blame anything on mosquitoes, but I just think me visually looking through this style of optic is just different for me. Because we're running out of daylight, we're gonna scoot all the way back to 60 yards, and we're gonna shoot the bottom line on the scope reticle and see how it does. All right, you guys, let's wrap up this video on the Vital X. And guys, once again, this is another really solid bow from Killer Instinct. And similar to the Diesel X, I'm gonna make a couple comparisons to the Diesel X because we did that video 2 weeks ago. If you haven't checked that one out already, definitely after watching this one, take a look at that one too, because there are some similarities between the two bows, but there's a few things that really stood out to me on the Vital X that didn't quite stand out the same way on the Diesel X that we'll go over. But if we start with similarities, the best way to say it, I guess, is like user experience. Like just drawing, shooting this bow, it's very comfortable. It's a joy, it's a pleasure. Like it's not hard to cock. It's very smooth shooting, very low sound and vibration, and all of that is attributed to the X cam system. This is a fantastic cam system with that 50% let off. It makes it super easy to draw. It's a low sound and vibration cam system. And the fact that they paired that once again with factory string stops, factory limb dampers, and a composite rail, it once again, just like the Diesel X, very, very low sound and vibration, very smooth shooting. I would say that this bow has just a little bit more vibration than the Diesel X, but I think that is attributed to the fact that the Vital X weighs a full pound lighter than the Diesel X. So I think just the fact that the Diesel's got that 1 pound more mass, it's soaking up just a little bit more vibration, but that 1 pound is noticeable on this bow. And I think they really nailed it as far as weight goes on this. It is super comfortable to hold, to shoot, and honestly, the balance of it is fantastic. It does not feel front heavy at all with how they've got the forend grip positioned. Especially me, I kind of like to hold it a little bit more up here, and I'm a taller frame shooter, so I'm 6'3", and this bow, even being non-adjustable, it fits me and feels really comfortable when I'm shooting it. So that was a big surprise. I did not think I would like the fact that it's not adjustable, and I honestly didn't really know if I would notice that full pound or not, but I do. And this bow, I would say, from kind of an ergonomic standpoint, I like better than the Diesel X that's fully adjustable. I really like the rubber overmolding they've got on the forend, on the cheek pad, and on the butt plate. It just makes it that much more comfortable. Accuracy, once again, you guys, I would say very comparable, or basically the same as the Diesel X. We shot fine out to 30 yards. We got sighted in really quick. 40-yard group, I would say, was pretty solid, and then the 60-yard shot, even running out of daylight, was right on the money. There's a couple things, once again, I would point out as, I'm going to say not a negative, again, on the trigger, but again, me being a SWAT X1 shooter and coming from a very superior, very premium trigger system in the SWAT X1, this one, once again, just takes a little bit of getting used to, because it's got a little bit of movement, but that 3-pound trigger pull is very comfortable. It's super easy to get used to this trigger, and it is a good trigger. It's just got a little bit more pre-travel before it breaks compared to the X1. The main, if you wanted to call it a negative, at least for me on this bow, would be the optics. I'm used to speed ring style optics. I didn't really like the lines, and the lines are fairly heavy inside the scope reticle. It's by no means a bad scope, it's just not something that I prefer. And I think just having those heavier lines instead of something like smaller ballistic dots in a speed ring style scope, I think I could probably have cleaned up that 40-yard group. But it is a very functional scope. It's going to get you going. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not what I prefer, and I think I can shoot better with something else. The other big takeaway with this bow, you guys, is the value. I can't really think of a higher value crossbow on the market than this. It comes in a full $100 less than the Diesel X, so I think the normal price on it is $450. Don't forget, we've got that Draggin Deer discount. You guys can find the promo code down below in the description. That's going to knock even more money off of this bow and bring it down below $400. I cannot think of another platform, another cam system, another bow that shoots 405 feet per second that has the user experience of this that would even come close to something sub $400. The value on this is tremendous, and honestly, if it were me, and I would take that discount from KI, the Draggin Deer discount. If you applied that to just some upgraded optics, this thing is a slam dunk. I really like this bow. I really like the Diesel X too, but there's just something with the way the fit, the feel, the weight. This bow is pretty special, especially at the price point that it comes in at. So you guys check out all the links and promo codes down below in the description. What we're gonna do too, I'm gonna try to get a hold of a Fatal X from my buddy. So we'll have all three bows, the Fatal X, the Diesel X, and the Vital X, because I know you guys are probably asking what are the differences between all three of them. So we'll go ahead and we'll try to cover that here in the coming weeks, so you guys can see and hopefully decide for yourself which one of the kind of mid-tier X-Cam bows is right for you. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed shooting the Vital X. And if you guys did enjoy, please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys soon on the next video. Take care, God bless, and remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.